Hello. Right, in this video I'm going to answer questions about house sitting because I've been getting a lot of questions by email, on Instagram, on YouTube comments about house sitting. So I did do a video explaining house and pet sitting before. That's number 20. So I'm just going to answer questions in this one. So if you want to know more about house sitting, go and look at that video. I'll put it somewhere, link somewhere at the end, and definitely in the description. Right, we'll start off with a question I got on YouTube, and it's, what is house sitting? Is it just for pets? So yes, mostly it's house sitting stroke pet sitting, but there are other reasons, one of them being security. And also in the UK, if you're going away a bit long term, sometimes it can be just about the house if you're going away a bit longer. So for example, gardens, mainly watering, plants inside the house. If you're going away for a long time, you don't want things seizing up, pipes freezing, that sort of thing. And also, I don't know what it's like here in Portugal, but in the UK, your house insurance, the maximum you can leave it empty is 30 days. So some people, if they're going away for longer, so their house insurance isn't void, they get house sitter in. So, but security is like pets, and security is, I'd say, the second biggest one. Obviously, some people in remote areas as well want somebody in the house. And funnily enough, in the UK, I never did a house sit that wasn't pet sitting. But in Portugal, I've done this house sit actually is no pets. The owner just didn't want the place left empty while she's away. It's a little village. She's right on the edge of some farmland and woodland. So, but here in Portugal, it's the first time I did a house sit without pets, and I've done 4 now. And one of them, they've been robbed 4 times. Another one once, and an attempted. Just to say, so one thing people, when you sort of say that, it's like, oh, Portugal, crime, Portugal is low crime, not no crime. The other thing I believe why it's ranked as a very safe country is because you have very few crimes and violent crimes against people, whereas something like stealing is slightly more. So and the other thing was, each incident they are building or doing renovating work, and people are after the tools and materials. One of them, they had actually tried to unscrew the scaffolding. So so not to get you panicked, but tools and materials are at risk, and I'm sure that can only get worse with the price of things at the moment. Anyway, so yes, that answers that question, I hope. Right, next question, or questions, because they're rather similar, so I'll just read them out and then answer all together. You house sit a lot. How do you do it? Is there a website you register with? Absolutely, I'll tell you about that. Do you know, another question is, do you know any way to find house sitting in Portugal? And another question, how do I go about being a house sitter? How does it work? Do I get paid? So yes, there is a website. There's many websites you can register with. I use a website called TrustedHousesitters. I will put the link in below. I will also, I haven't got access to internet at the moment, so I can't check, but I think they've got like a little promotional video. I'll put a link to that in as well if they have and I can find it. Generally, do look at the description below this video. I will put, if I mention anything in the video, I'll put information in there. And if there's anything I forget, I can always chuck it in there as well. So please do check the description. I say that because I get a lot of queries and emails from people for information that is in the description. How do I go about being a house sitter, and does it get paid? There is different kinds of house sitting. I do not get paid. I use a website which is like peer-to-peer, you know, exchange, sharing economy type website. There are other websites apart from Trusted House Sitters, but I prefer them. They're one of the biggest and I just prefer them. I did go into this in my other video, and that video, I think I said earlier, but it's video number 20, and of course I'll put the link to that in the description. So in terms of getting paid, there are, I don't know about Portugal, but in the UK there's certainly agencies that you know, provide house sitters, and you can join one of those. In Portugal there is a website, or a couple of websites, I think. Again, I'll put them in the description and I'll put them in at the end of the video. And they work in the same way as Trusted House Sitters, in that the homeowner joins, puts a profile description. Oh no, actually, no, maybe not. I'm not sure. I'll put the link in anyway, but the pet sitter certainly would put a profile, put together a profile, information about themselves, what they charge, and then the website matches the two, and then the website handles all the payments. They take their cut, and then you as the house sitter will get your payment. A bit like if you was a host on Airbnb. Yeah, so, but I do the unpaid type. It's a mutual exchange. House sitter gets accommodation, homeowner gets someone to look after their home and pets. Just to elaborate on the answer for the question of how do I go about being a house sitter, I'm guessing you obviously need to get started, and a site like Trusted House Sitters, in fact all the sites, no matter which one you use, peer-to-peer, you know, sharing economy type sites, or a paid for site, you are going to need to talk about the experience you have and put up some references. So I know a lot of the people that watch this channel are obviously mature in years, so you will have a wealth of experience behind you. I'm sure many of you have raised children, run a home, so you don't have to have actual house sitting experience. And you know, if you've just looked after somebody's pet, if you've been an Airbnb host, if you've been a landlord or landlady, if you have looked after someone's house when they're on holiday, if you've been the caretaker of someone's keys, and there are loads of situations where you can demonstrate that you are capable of looking after someone's house and or property and pets. So with Trusted House Sitters, you can, obviously you have all your reviews. When you've done a house sit, the homeowner gives you a review, but you can, there's also under that review section, you can put references. So you can do that. There really is no barrier to getting in. A lot of people say, but if I haven't got reviews, then how? Because obviously homeowners want people with reviews, and they say, but if I haven't got reviews, then how do I get my first house sit in order to get the reviews to get the house sit? But trust me, it's not a problem. Right, another question. I don't know if I'm looking a bit dark in here, but the reason I have to sit here is because it is so hot, and if I sit out in the sun, apart from baking, I won't be able to see. I'll be squinting. Is it possible to do farm sitting or garden sitting in Portugal as well? Garden sitting, well, big house of a garden. Farm sitting, my first house sit on Trusted House Sitters, not my first house sit because I'd done previously word of mouth, but my first one on Trusted House Sitters was actually a small holding, and there's certainly plenty of small holdings because obviously the nature of the type of animals you have on a small holding, you can't kennel or board chickens and ducks or goats, or you know, so certainly. So my first one was horses, sheep, ducks, chickens and 3 dogs on a small holding in Wales. It was beautiful. So certainly if you're talking about farms, then you want woofing, WOOF, or workaway. Look that up, or well, as I promised, I will put the links in the description below. But that's what you want if you want more farm work. Right, just to say, I forgot. See, I waffle on where I'm not supposed to and forget what I'm supposed to say. Back to the question of where can I find house sits in Portugal? Obviously, Trusted House Sitters is worldwide. They have a selection in Portugal. Another way other house sitters find house sits is on Facebook. Now, I don't use Facebook, but I understand that there are a lot of house sitting groups and pages on there. I know there's one called House Sitting in Spain and Portugal. I think there's one house sitting in the Algarve. So there's actual house sitting Facebook groups, and one of the homeowners that I house sat for, she has contacted me several times to say, can I pass on your details, because in their Facebook group, which is for their area, for their town or whatever, people are always asking for house sitters. So, see, I'm waffling again. So, to clarify, there are Pacific house sitting groups, and you will find in just general groups for your area, people ask and for house sitters. Just to say, if you are starting out, I would suggest and not recommend using Facebook. I'd get used to being able to suss things out and work things out, because with Trusted House Sitters, you've got that intermediary, you've got the organisation in the middle, you've got a 24-hour helpline, vet helpline, you have someone else that you can contact if there's a problem. Right, so I'm back outside because it's so much nicer, and we've got this lovely orange tree to stand under. It's much better than to give you that nice Portuguese feel, and we have the noise of the swimming pool filter in the background, so I hope it is not too noisy. And yeah, oh, see, it's a lovely breeze. This is what we want. It's such a hot day. Right, where did we get with these questions? Somebody asked several questions. How long have you been house sitting? I did my first house sit in 2018. How many house sits have you done? Oh, I have no idea. I've done a lot. Obviously, since being here in Portugal, I'm doing house sitting full time, so I'm doing quite a lot. But when I was back in the UK, I just do them once in a while when I wanted to explore a new area, get out in the countryside because I lived in London, get my fix of animals. So I do them once in a while, but I don't know, I have no idea, sorry. That's interesting because I have no idea. What is the longest house that you have done? 2 months. And the same person asked, have you ever felt scared meeting the owners or animals? Scared? No. I don't know what I'd be scared of. Definitely not scared of any animals. I mean, you could not house sit if you are nervous or scared of animals. They will pick it up, and that wouldn't be a very nice atmosphere, a nice feeling. Yeah, I don't think you would be too happy, or the pets would be too happy if there was nervousness. So definitely not with the animals. No, you said scared, definitely not scared. However, a bit nervous. One house sit, I was looking after some prize winning dressage horses. Obviously they was not dressage horses anymore, they was retired, because if they was, they'd have their own groom and be in a nice stables and everything. But you know, they were prize winning horses, and so I was a bit nervous that they might get lame out in the field or something, I don't know, or get colic, and so I was a little bit nervous because they were very prestigious horses. But apart from that, no, not at all. And that is, I do spend a lot of time, not a lot of time, but I don't just take any house sit. I do choose my house sits carefully, make sure they're a match, and I make sure I'm comfortable before I get to the house sit. That's why I like Trusted House Sitters. There's lots of information, pictures, what your duties are, a bio for the homeowner, and if there isn't that, and trust me, there are listings that aren't very good that don't have that information, I swipe on by, and and the other thing I do is, once I have read through everything, and if they haven't got a good description, I'm swiping. Once I've thought, yeah, this looks like a good one, this looks like this could be a match, because it's a two-way thing, I would then get on a video call with the homeowners, so I can see the pets, see the house, and look into the whites of their eyes, and they can look into mine. You know, it's a big trust thing. These are people's prized, not possessions, prized members of their family, and possessions, their home and stuff. So yeah, so I will make sure I'm comfortable before I get there. I hope that makes sense. I just tend to waffle. Another question is, obviously people have just asked generally about getting house sits, but someone asked, how do I get such great house sits? Actually, I've kind of just answered it, because again, it's about going through the not just picking dates and a location. It's about it's about going through the website, and sorry, I'm umming a lot. I'm thinking of things that I didn't say with another question. Brain, come back to that. So it's about going through the listing and really choosing the ones that are great. And on that note, right, just let me get that post-it out that I just thought, it's gone again. Oh, on that note, I think I previously answered about how I get house sits, and I think I failed to mention that obviously at this stage I get a lot outside of Trusted House Sitters, because I get repeat sits and I get people word of mouth, and again, I need to make sure that, like, people will say to me, oh, my friend needs a house sitter, are you interested? Well, I don't know if I'm interested yet, because I haven't got no details. I don't know where it is, which is important. I can't be driving from one end of the country to the other. I've got to batch them in roughly the same area, otherwise it will cost me a fortune in diesel and tolls and time driving around. So I don't know if I'm interested in, because I don't know where it is, I don't know what kind of sit it is, I don't know if it's suitable, I don't know if we're a match. God, what was the damn question? Waffled on so much. Oh yeah, how do I get such great house sits? What have I said and what have I not said? Yeah, so it's about looking through the details, having the video call, and making sure it's what I want to do. Just on that note, when you first start out, or when I first started out, and I know this with other house sitters, it's like, you kind of like, oh, I hope the wind's not going in the mic, sorry, but it's so nice out here, I don't want to be inside. You know, you get these lovely house sits, houses with the swimming pool. I mean, obviously in Portugal it's nothing to have a swimming pool, but in the UK, if there's a swimming pool, it's obviously going to be a nice house. Swimming pools, stables, tennis court, and you think, oh yeah, but that novelty soon wears off. A quick note, if I got some questions by email, I've lost those emails in the big black hole called the inbox. So if I haven't answered your question, I'm not ignoring you. I think a lot of the questions are the same. So just asked differently, but same sort of question. But if I haven't answered anything, do put it in the comments, the question and I'll answer. Don't email me, only because if you put the question in the comments, then somebody else might have the same question and everybody can see the answer, if that's okay. This is an interesting one. This is my favourite question. Although it's done for the love of animals, in brackets, I hope, would actually, before I go on to the question, I want to address that statement. Yes, you do need to love animals to do house sitting. By all means, if you want to try and find house sits without pets, obviously they do exist, but they're few and far between. And I say this because I did meet somebody who I was in Australia, and there was, you know, you get a lot of house sitters in Australia, and a lot of people that are a long way from home, and they're staying in accommodation through house sitting, and obviously don't have to pay for hotels and Airbnbs and stuff. And she thought, oh yeah, that's a good way of getting free accommodation, which it is, but it is not. But she didn't like animals, she didn't dislike them, but she wasn't much of an animal lover, and she just wasn't much of an animal lover. Excuse me. You really cannot live with somebody's pets and not like them. You know, you can't live with them for 3 weeks and not like them. One, they will pick up on it. They'll be miserable, you'll be miserable. Yes, you definitely need to love animals, and yeah, definitely. Did I make that clear? Definitely. And anyway, then she went on to say, would you refuse repeat sittings if the experience of living in the property was uncomfortable, inconvenient, etc.? Well, as I've just answered, I've just answered that in 2 questions, it still comes back to the same thing about the way I choose. So I can't see myself finding myself in a situation where I'm uncomfortable or unhappy. I mean, I've had a house sit that I didn't like, but that was for just completely different reasons that were not out, you know, they were nothing to do with the homeowner or just out of anybody's control. Lovely animals, lovely house, but just didn't like it. But no, so yeah, it's back to that. Really looking at the listing, swiping on by for those listings which have got no pictures, no description, no consideration for the house sitter by not telling them where they're sleeping, no information for them. The animals are important, but the human's important as well. It's a two-way exchange. So yeah, it's about choosing, it's about that video call. And I've refused sits where so obviously I've refused a lot of repeat sits because the homeowners message you, and I just can't do the dates. So that's the only reason I can't do the dates, or I'm just not anywhere near that location. So there'll be the 2 reasons I refuse: location and dates. But I will not take sits that, sorry, hope it's not too windy. I will not take sits that just aren't suitable. Now, there's 2 reasons why they won't be suitable. One, there's nothing wrong with the house sit, but it's just not a match for me. So for example, I love to walk, and I often think, I mean, several times I have worn out dogs, and the homeowners have said their dogs were knackered. So if somebody's they might think it's a problem that they've got a really energetic dog that needs a lot of walking. Well, that's right up my street. Me and them will just get on fine. I have had someone I went to see, in the end I didn't do the house sitter just because they cancelled their trip, so I didn't have to say, no, I don't want to do this sit, because I actually went to visit them because I was really close. Their dog had arthritis, was overweight, and they said, oh, just take her for a little walk to the end of the road and back. That does not suit me. That would suit other people just fine, but that doesn't suit me. So it's not a good match, if you get what I mean. So, And also I've refused to look after people's pets where their standard of animal care and the way they look after the pets, none of my business, but it is my business if I come to house sit. So if it's not up to how I feel animals should be treated, and yeah, then I won't do it. Next question. What is the exchange rate, in inverted commas, for a professional house sitter like yourself? Only kidding. This was on a comment, so I did put a comment underneath, sort of what do you mean? And I think it's about how how you work out the value. So there is, like I think I mentioned workaway before, not workaway, woofing, which is where you volunteer on farms for accommodation and food, and they have a standard that you do a minimum of 4 hours a day. With house sitting, there's nothing like that. Now, the tasks and the type of house sit can really vary, so it's entirely up to you whether you take that on. I'll give you an example, how it varies and the difference in attitude. I see some house sits which I feel personally that the homeowners are asking a little bit much. There's a lot of work, and don't forget, the whole idea of the house sit is if you as the house sitter are doing it for free in order to get that accommodation, you want that accommodation so you can explore the area, or a lot of house sitters still have to work, they're digital nomads, so if you have literally got a full-time job with all the tasks and errands you have to do, then sometimes I feel like doesn't quite level up. However, saying that, some house sitters are happy with that, and that's their choice. So there really is no benchmark, it's up to you, you choose. I'll give you another example of how people feel about this. I did a house sit where the dog was prepared, it didn't eat dog food, commercial dog food, they prepared the dog's food just from ordinary fresh food. And but they had weaned the dog onto kibble, the dry food, just while I was there. And she explained that she did that because she thought it was too much to expect of the house sitter to prepare the dog's food. Oh my God, I was like, no, of course I would have done that, only because I absolutely hate dried food. I hate giving it to dogs. It is not, anyway, all these people thinking, because most people feed their dogs dry food, so all these people are thinking, well, there's nothing wrong with my dog, perfectly healthy. Anyway, it's not good for dogs. It's like cardboard, and I don't care how much it costs and how much the label says it's a premium variety, scientific. Anyway, I digress. So she thought that that was too much to ask for a house sit for the house sitter to do. One dog, one house, one very easygoing, easy to look after dog, I might add. So that would have been no trouble at all, ne'er bother. But she felt that was too much to ask for house sitters. Whereas some homeowners, they will quite happily give you a big list of tasks and not feel any way about it. So equally, some house sitters are happy with that, some, it just depends. Horses for courses, what your circumstances. If you're a digital nomad and you've got a house sit for 2 weeks, you've got a project, you've got work that needs to get done in those 2 weeks, you cannot be working full-time in someone's home. Yeah, so there's really no, there's no kind of there's no standard, there's no set. I hope that makes sense. And we go back again to what I have said about the way I choose, the way I yeah, I've said it all before. That goes back to that as well. You know what is expected of you before you accept the house sit. If you don't like it, don't do it. When I say don't do it, I don't mean don't get there and say, oh, I'm not doing this, it's way too much hard work. I mean, don't choose the house sit. Because obviously if you have committed and you have taken on the responsibility, you must do what needs to be done. You are looking at this big responsibility, someone's home, someone's homestead, someone's pets, but you make that choice before you accept the house sit. I hope that makes sense. Next question. Right, I think this is the last question. I've probably missed some out, but if I've confused you about anything or missed anything out, you've got, fly, go away. You have got the comment section. So this question is quite a nice one to finish with. They said, can I still get a discount with the house sitting service you use? Can I still get money off joining Trusted House Sitters? I'm assuming they saw my previous video about house sitters when I said I can get you a discount with my code. Absolutely yes. So when you join Trusted House Sitters, you get this thing, recommend a friend thing. So if you send people your link, you get 2 months, I think it's 2 months free membership, and they get a discount. But I have like 2 years free membership from keep recommending them, so instead I have an affiliate link instead, because I mean, how many years free membership do I need? And with that, again, you get a discount. So certainly I will put the link in the description below. If you use that link, you get a discount. You don't have to use the link, you can go straight to Trusted House Sitters, but it will be lovely if you get a little discount and I get a little kickback. Yeah, so that's it. Something I did want to say, if you're a homeowner and you're interested in, you're a bit worried about how to choose a house sitter, the trust issue, if you've got questions as well, because obviously the nature of this channel, a lot of you are in a foreign country and you are going to want to go back home for weddings, funerals, whatever, visits. You are going to want to visit the country that you came for, so it is likely that you need house sitters. So if you've got any questions, and yeah, let me know. And the other thing I wanted to say, sorry, I've got my iPad here with some notes on, is there's a buzzard beautiful. That's the one thing I like about Portugal, just seeing birds of prey in the sky. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh yeah, a couple of people have, I can't find the comments. I think one was on YouTube and one was on Instagram. Yeah, a couple of people have said because I talk about house sitting, they've joined Trusted House Sitters and they've started house sitting and they're loving it. If anyone does start house sitting, you got to tell me about your first house sit. I think that's it. I hope I didn't waffle. Well, there's no point in saying I hope I didn't waffle too much, because it's too late for that. I clearly did, but I hope I answered questions and you got the answers you needed. You know where I am. I'm here on this channel all the time. Prefer you to put the questions in the comments, because like I said, then if other people have got the same questions, they will also see the answer. Where if it's in by email, then no one else is going to get to benefit from that question and answer and that information. So yeah, it's a very hot day. I'm going to go to the beach.